9790 KFGO. Each month, we're asking you, our amazing listeners, to register your town. Go to KFGO.com and click on the Coffee with KFGO quick link and nominate your town. If your town's selected, the KFGO Morning Crew, News and Views with Joel Heitkamp, and other KFGO personalities will be headed to your town. Coffee with KFGO is brought to you by Vision Ford in Wapaton. Stress-free car shopping, free delivery within 1,000 miles of the dealership. Drive with Vision and the mighty 790 KFGO.
By now, most of us have received a letter to respond to the 2020 census. Make sure you respond and count all kids and babies. Count your own kids, your grandkids, foster kids, and any children staying with you that have no other permanent address. When babies and children are counted, the programs that support them and their families get more of the federal funding for public services like clinics, schools, public transit, and hundreds of programs they need for the next 10 years. Learn more and get counted at 2020census.gov. A message from 1MN and the Children's Defense Fund, Minnesota.
The Drive with Dan Michaels on 94.1 FM and the Triple Towers of Power, the mighty 790 KFGO.
The mighty 790 KFGO. Good afternoon. Welcome back to The Drive. KFGO time is 4:43. I'm Dan Michaels. Drive Time News Hour is about 15 minutes away. News, sports, weather, rewind, good news, all that and more coming up in the Drive Time News Hour in just a few minutes. And you hear Phil Cunningham's tune, When Summer Ends, which is appropriate. And I know it's all sad for all of us. This pandemic has been going on, and you probably didn't get outside as much as you would have liked, etc. But here's something that you can do with social distancing. You can get in your car with your loved ones, and you can go out and you can check out the foliage, not only on this side of the river, but especially in Minnesota. Go for a cruise, and it's just amazing. I've got some great pictures. Might have to share these with you, Paulie. Silent Lake in Minnesota. It's not a very big lake. But that spot there, we stopped and at the boat launch and went out on the dock. It was just pristine, not a breath of wind. All the leaves had turned color. You could walk out there and take a picture, and the trees on the reflection in the water were just as gorgeous as the ones in real life. So I took a couple of those pictures. Cool. It was just wonderful. And then we went back that direction when we were returning to the Vergas area where we keep our RV, and there were other people that were pulled over at the same spot taking pictures. It's just gorgeous out there right now, and this is something we can all go do. Yeah, it's end of the season, and we're getting ready for, you know what follows the fall, but don't miss these next couple of weeks, your chance to get out there. Next time we get a big frost, it's all going to be gone. So hope you get out there and try to enjoy yourself. So that's why I wanted to have Val on with us today. Val Cervenka is a forest entomologist with the Minnesota DNR, and she's going to walk us through some of the best places you can go in the lakes area in Minnesota to see some of this foliage. Hi, Val. How are you today?
Hi, Dan. I'm well. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So, Val, what's a forest entomologist?
Well, actually, it's somebody who looks at insects in the forest. And so we have a lot of trees that we grow for harvest in Minnesota. And when you grow one crop, it's sort of a sitting duck for insects and diseases and things like that, kind of like corn, only with a really lot longer crop rotation. So we try to make sure that the trees are healthy, and if they get attacked by insects or disease, then my team helps the foresters figure out how to manage the forest so that doesn't happen all the time.
So here we have a forest expert from the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources. You can't go any further up the chain trying to find a person who's an expert on where you should go to check out the fall foliage, do some leaf peeping, if you will. So, Val, right off the top, where would you recommend that people go to check out the best fall foliage?
Well, right now, at this moment, I think anywhere across northern Minnesota is going to be great. Like you said, by lakes or rivers are great places to go because you get a natural vista of so many different colors and also reflection, like you said, and it just gives you just a feeling of an expansive feeling, like you're small and here's this big world outside full of beautiful colors. And I agree with you. I think I would go in your car because the parks are a little crowded, especially our favorite parks. Everybody wants to go there. But the whole state is full of places to look. I mean, even in one's own backyard, if one is so lucky. So I just saw a photograph of Grand Portage State Forest that's just mind-blowing. But I was up in Finlayson, just up Highway 35W, and even along the highway, the color was beautiful.
It is.
So I mean, it's just like a really great year, I think, for color.
It is gorgeous, and yeah, state parks, and they might be really busy. Here's what my wife and I did, Val. We took a spot on the map where we knew we weren't going to be on any major roads, and around this part of the country, where like Highway 10 would have been a major road, and so we wanted to get off those roads. So we took like County Road 41 to County Road 108. We kind of went from Vergas, Minnesota, on the way to like Battle Lake, Deer Creek area. And then we went west from there to like the Underwood area, stopped at Fort Julesson, learned I had no idea there was ever a fort right there. I'm kind of a history buff. And we made it a big circle. It took us about 3 hours to do. It was our own little route. And all we did was put into the doohickey in your phone or in your car about, finding a place, just the best route. And we just put an obscure place in there so it would take us on the county roads. And we just followed that. And everywhere we went, it was absolutely gorgeous. So state forests are a great place to go. So what's this rainbow route that you've told me about, Val?
Right. So rainbow route is something that the Explore Minnesota tourism folks came up with the DNR. And those are 10 routes that people can go on, much like you're saying, just to see something from a different perspective. And people can go on the Explore Minnesota tourism website to find a list of the rainbow routes. I think they can just plug that in, and they'll come up with these 10 routes. And then on the DNR website, mndnr.gov/state forest, we have a list of 5 of our favorite scenic fall drives through state forest, beginning with the most northern ones. So you're kind of following the color. So the first one is Smoky Hill State Forest, and you may know this highway, Highway 34 between Park Rapids and Detroit Lakes.
Been on it many, many, many times. And Schnellman, there's a town called Schnellman. And I always, I don't know, do my General Burkhalter current made whatever when we're driving. Schnellman. Anyway, I've been up there many times, and I've been by Smoky Hill State Forest lots of times. So you're saying Smoky Hills is a great place to go right now?
Right now, it's perfect. On the other side of the state, there's Bear Island State Forest Scenic Drive, and that's out of Ely. So you have to hike a little bit to get over there. But the directions on where to go from Ely are right on that website. And then as you go down the state through the color season, the Rum River State Forest is the next one. And so maybe within the next week or two, there'll be great color there, although I'm sure it's starting now. And St. Croix State Forest is the next one, and I know the colors are starting there. That's a beautiful one along the St. Croix River. And finally, you wind up down at the Richard J. Dorer Memorial Hardwood State Forest down in southeast Minnesota, near Frontenac State Park, which is another lovely place where you have a place to climb up and look over the river and see that vista on both sides. Just spectacular.
And that's a neat thing about Minnesota being such a big state and going from north to south like that. You'll be able to enjoy the fall foliage for the next several weeks because you can just follow it going south. I don't doubt we're going to get a freeze. Obviously, Val Cervenka, by the way, is joining us. Val is a forest entomologist with the Minnesota DNR, and we're talking about fall foliage. But you could tell in places that we'd been that there has been a frost of some degree there because there were a ton of trees that were just already bare naked.
Absolutely. They have had frost, but that could actually work in the tree's favor if it's not a killing frost. So if it's like a light frost, that could help really brighten those reds and make them even more brilliant, because that frost or very chilly weather traps sugars in the leaves, and that sugar is needed to combine with compounds to create the red color, or anthocyanin is what the name of the pigment is. So that color is created every year, and I think that frost actually might have helped kick that color into motion over the last week.
Well, we had our head on a swivel. It was absolutely gorgeous out there. It's so beautiful. And again, you talk about what this does for your peace of mind. We're looking to de-stress. We're looking to get out from under this pandemic and everything that it's done to us. I have a statistic I'm going to use later on today, Val, that talks about how one of the big things going on nationwide during the pandemic is more people have been forced to go to the dentist because they've cracked their teeth, because the stress has worn them down so much that they're chewing on their own teeth. And it's turned out to be, I know, people are just so stressed out. You're looking for a way to de-stress. I highly, highly recommend you jump in the car, get out to the countryside, take a thermos with you, and maybe even a picnic basket. Just wear a coat, have some fun, get out there. The website that Val is talking about is dnr.state.mn.us. And then, in fact, if you did a Google search for scenic fall color routes in Minnesota, this website will come up. You can start at Smoky Hills, go down to Bear Island, over to Rum River, St. Croix, all over the state of Minnesota, and enjoy yourself and get de-stressed a little bit. You're going to really love it. You're going to love the smells. You're going to love being outside, the crisp air, and the scenery is going to make you calm down, de-stress, and be happy, and enjoy when Monday comes around. You'll be in a good mood.
Absolutely.
Val Cervenka, who's a forest entomologist with the Minnesota DNR. Val, thanks so very much for joining us today. Really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, Dan.
Always a pleasure. We'll talk again, Val, okay?
Thank you. I'd love that.
All right. Take care. KFGO time coming up on 4:54.